Welcome to Conscious Conversations. I'm your girl, Queen Hannah Bay. Thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. I want to thank you guys for liking, thank you for commenting, and thank you for sharing. If this is your first time, I want to again welcome you to the conversation. Here on Conscious Conversations, we discuss various topics, various events, things that pertain to the Black community. My main goal here is to elevate, unify, and electrify the Black community so that we can come together. Now, here on Conscious Conversations, my main audience is basically two groups, the Black community and the ADOS community. If you don't subscribe to those two groups, you may be offended by some of the things that I discuss here on the channel. You have the option of leaving, or you have the option of staying and becoming educated on, what it is to be a Black person in America. So tonight's conversation is going to mainly be about empowerment to the ADOS movement. Now, for some of us, the ancestors have been rising up in us. They have been in our dreams. They have lit a fire in our bellies when it comes to this ADOS movement. The ancestors are trying to get some of us to get some of you who subscribe to ADOS, which is a descendant of slaves, American descendants of slaves, to not be ashamed to come forth and join in on the movement. Now, some people who say that you're ADOS, sometimes when people ask you questions regarding the movement, what it is, what we're fighting for, the basis behind the movement, who started the movement, where did we come from, how much do we think we're owed, all sorts of questions are being asked of some of us. Now, the problem that I'm finding is that some of us don't have the answers to the questions that we are being asked. And that's okay. No one has ever proclaimed to know everything. But what I am going to say to you is that if you don't know something, or if you're unclear on something, you don't have to give them an answer, family. You don't have to give them any ammunition to shoot us down. What you can do is refer them to someone who does know. You can refer them to Yvette Carnell. You can refer them to Antonio Moore. You can refer them to Sandy Darity. There are plenty of people who have been fighting for the reparations and the ADOS movement before we came along. So if you don't have the knowledge, point them into the direction of someone who does have the knowledge. That way there won't be any misconceptions or any information that's misconstrued when it comes to this movement. It seems almost as if, for lack of a better term, a punk spirit or a spirit of cowardliness has come up within us. Now, don't be offended by that. It's due to no fault of your own. It's just basically what we have been taught. When we came here to this land, we were given a mindset. The mindset that we had, that African mindset, it was stripped away from us. So we were given the mindset of the Europeans, or given the mindset of those who oppressed us. So even now, sometimes we think that we're thinking our own thoughts, but you're not even thinking your own thoughts. You have been socially engineered to become that way. So we have been socially engineered as a people to be docile. We have been taught as a community, when someone wrongs you, you don't have to turn the other cheek. Just go ahead, turn your cheek so they can smack you on the other side. That's what we have been taught. And a lot of us have been taught that subconsciously through religion. Religion teaches us to, love our enemy, obey our masters, do what we're told, and we're going to get a mansion and a crown in heaven. Don't fight back. No, Black people, African people are the only people on the planet who have been taught to be docile, and we still remain that way. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Native Americans died because they were not willing to concede. They were basically almost annihilated because they went hard for what they believe in. Now, black people, we have been oppressed for so long that we're just willing to go along with anything. So what I'm saying is, don't let people talk you into going along with anything. And I'm saying that when it comes up to this thing of reparations. Someone commented under my video and said that the ADOS movement and this reparations movement is not going to affect the upcoming 2020 elections. Now, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I really feel like it's going to affect the upcoming election because in this season, we are getting on code, family. We are not going to concede. We are going to hold. We are not going to fold. We have specific demands for specific injustice, and we are not conceding those demands. We are not going to take what you give us just because that's what you guys are used to us doing. You guys are used to getting our black vote for nothing. I remember P. Diddy came out with the campaign around 2013. Guess what he told the black community, the hip-hop community, the ADOS community? Guess what he told us? He told us to vote or die. Well, I voted that year. I voted 4 years after that. And guess what? We are still dying. There is still no policy in place to stop the brutal killing of our black children out here in these streets. There's no policy put into place for that. When other groups came up against different administrations, LGBT, when they came up with their agenda, guess what? They got what they wanted specifically. It didn't have to go through every group. It went to them because they felt they had a specific injustice. So what's so wrong with it coming to us because we feel like we had a specific injustice? A lot of people are asking me, well, who gets the reparations? How do you know who gets it? How do you know that? How do you know that? Look, stop, don't worry about it. Was you asking all these other groups, how did they know? They made it down to the courthouse and they came up with the figure and they came up with it. But if you want to know so much, it does have to do with lineage. You do have to have descendants. You have to have ancestors who were slaves in America, whose bones are buried in America, who were enslaved in America. And secondly, you have to have subscribed to one of these terms for 10 years prior to the reparations program being started. You have to identify yourself as Negro, Black, African American for 10 years prior to the reparation program starting. So no, it's not just, we do have specific rules and specific qualifications and different eligibility criteria that you must pass in order to receive reparations. Now, what I'm seeing a lot when people are asking, they're telling me, you know, y'all, you're not going to get reparations. I don't even know why you're speaking about it. You should just give up. No. We are not giving up. We're not backing up. We're not backing down. We are here. We are here to fight the fight, family. We have a right to demand some things for our black vote. And we have the right, if they don't give it to us, to vote or not to vote. For me personally, I'm tired of giving away my vote for free. They're so used to getting everything from the black community for free. How long are y'all going to subscribe to that? How long are you going to allow another group to tell you what to do? Because I'm over it. I am so over it, family. Another problem that I'm seeing with the conscious community or the ADOS community is that you don't mind looking conscious. I see a lot of t-shirts. You got hashtag ADOS. A lot of you have, you know, your dashikis. You got your Ankh song, which represents African spirituality, all of that. And that's great. That's good. You know, you lock down, dashiki down. But that scares people away. By you just looking conscious, that ain't nothing. You have to be conscious in your mindset. You have to be educated. You have to know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, you can't be afraid to point into the direction of someone who does. It's all right. It's okay to not, proclaim to know everything. You don't got to know everything. So I don't know everything. But when I don't know everything, I know that I can go somewhere and find the answer. I'm not afraid to say I don't know, and I'm not afraid to find the answer, and I'm not afraid to point you in the direction of someone who does have the answer. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, if y'all don't get reparations, who are you going to vote for? You don't know if we're going to get reparations or not. It is still early. The election is in 2020. We have a couple months, 17, 18 more months before election season even starts. So these candidates, they have announced early. And I'm glad that they announced early because it gives us an opportunity to go ahead and do our research and find out what policies they have in place for Black people and what they plan on doing about reparations and the Black agenda. Now, a lot of candidates have come straight out. Bernie Sanders. What does it mean for reparations? Like you don't know what it means. You claim you have been fighting for Black people for all these years, but when it comes to reparations, you don't know what that means. But I don't know what a vote for you means. If you don't take the time to go back and rearrange and reconstruct some things and come back with an agenda, then I can't do it. But I am aware that there is still time. Kamala Harris. A lot of policies and things that you have put into place when you were Attorney General in California, a lot of those policies got me looking at you funny, honey. I'm looking at you funny. You claim that, you have a policy that's going to help everybody, but when we asked you specifically, did you have anything that was going to help Black people? You said no. No, I'm not going to do anything specific to help Black people. What you mean? But you specifically want our vote. You've done things that specifically disparage Black people, so why can't you do things to specifically help Black people? But you still have time to go ahead and reconsider and come back to the table with a proposal and an agenda for Black people, and we will hear you. We are willing to hear you and for you guys to meet us at our demands. But what we won't do is just wave the white flag and just give up and take whatever you're going to give us. Kamala, with your LIFT initiative, saying that's going to help everybody. It's going to help Black people the most because we are largely disparaged. No. You can't help everybody if everybody hasn't been through what we've been through. Everybody hasn't had their ancestors killed, beaten, burned. Everyone hasn't been bitten by dogs, had their breasts bitten by dogs, had their phallus bitten off by dogs. Everyone hasn't been burnt at the stake. Everyone hasn't had to deal with illegal voting practices. You guys intimidating us, making us vote certain ways. A lot of you guys didn't deal with having your land stolen after we were promised something. We were promised reparations, 40 acres and a mule. But what happened? America reneged on their promise. If you guys would have fulfilled your promise back then, we would not have to stand here and fight today. We would have had ample opportunity. If we would have gotten our 40 acres and a mule, that would have been over 40,000 acres of land. Do you know what we could have done with that land? We could have built houses on that land. We could have been developers. We could have sold the land to developers to get some wealth so that we can pass down to our children the same way that you're doing today. You guys had the opportunity. What you guys are doing for your children is what we want to do for our children. When you guys haven't even done the work, we've done the work and we are still suffering. You guys have wealth. You can pay for college even though you guys are sneaking in. But you guys have the resources to even pay to get your child into an Ivy League school or whatever league school you want to get them in. We don't even have the option. We don't have the option to pay because we don't even have the money. The option that we do have, we were getting in by the athletic programs, but you guys have found a way to get up in that. Got your students faking pictures and taking pictures like they play sports. They don't play no sports, you know that. But you want to take that away from us. We have had unfair educational practices since forever. I don't even know why we even think that you guys are going to give us a proper education. That's why, ADOS family, I need you guys to educate your children. I need you to educate them at home. Because at school, they are not educating the children. They are telling them what to think. They're not reaching inside the child and pulling out what they have inside of them and inducing them to learn. No, they are telling them what to think, and that's a big difference. That's brainwashing. That's not teaching, that is brainwashing. And while you're at work working 2 jobs, your school is brainwashing your children against you, the television is brainwashing your children against you, and the internet is brainwashing your children against you. So we can't afford to give up on this fight, family. We cannot afford it. Now, a lot of people are saying that, we don't need reparations. What we need to do is to go back to school and, get a better job. If we get a better job, it'll give us the possibility of saving money. And that way we will be able to, help our children out, give them a little cushion to help them along in life. Now, that is a myth. It has been proven, statistics have proven that Black people with a college degree are have two-thirds less income than white people who have dropped out of high school. So we have to go to college and get a degree just to be on the same level as a white person who have dropped out of high school. It's ridiculous. So the myth that going to school and being able to save money, it's a myth. It's not going to help us close the gap fast enough, for one. It'll help us save a little money, but not enough to start out in life. It is projected that the Black household will have a median wealth of 0 by 2053. So what does that mean? That means that we have to start now, family. We can't give up the fight. We cannot give up the fight. We have to have something to pass down to our children to make sure that they're safe. They're saying that this world is going to become like a third world country to Black people. We don't have any wealth. We don't have anything to help us get money. Only thing that we're passing down to our children is debt. So that is the purpose, family, of our fight. And if you can't think of a better reason to fight than your children and your grandchildren, I don't know. But for me, that's enough for me to want to fight. It's enough for me to want to fight. I want to go ahead and stay in the race. I'm not going to let no one concede. I'm not going to let no one tell me to just take what they're giving. No, we're not doing that, family. We have a specific claim. We've been through a specific injustice, and we specifically want our reparations. I can't tell you a monetary amount. I don't know. But what you would need to do is see how much, what is 40 acres and a mule worth now? Added on the interest of all the years it took y'all to give us our money, plus the redlining, black codes, Jim Crow, mass incarceration, all types of things, the system that was put in place to keep us as a permanent bottom class. I don't think the United States has enough money to even compensate me for what I've been through. But I know one thing, every other group, you went down to the courthouse and you figured it out. So that's what's going to happen here. You're going to go on down to the courthouse and you're going to figure it out. It ain't too much to it but to do it. Now, again, family, as I stated, it's not too late. There's still a chance for these candidates to go ahead and change their position. I know, Kamala Harris got her little program. Bernie Sanders said reparations. What it mean? Write a check? No, it don't always mean write a check, but ain't no problem. Cut the check. I do want a check. I do need some money. But just giving us just money, we gonna spend it. No. We need wealth. And wealth doesn't just only come in the form of money. Land, businesses. We need that. And we need you to cut the check too. I still want my check. Don't think I ain't coming from a check. You get a check to everybody else. So we need y'all to give us our check too. So again, family, when it comes to this ADOS movement, do not be afraid. Do not let anyone knock you off your square. Do not let them talk you out of what is owed to you. Be bold. Be brave. Know that you have the power of God backing you. In this season, we have the power of the Almighty backing us, family. See, it's like we've been born into a movie that was halfway finished. So what I need you guys to do is educate yourself on the beginning of the movie so that we can finish strong. So we can come together and defeat this devil who has been keeping us oppressed and who has been keeping us as a permanent underclass in a country that we have built. Don't let them do this to us, family. Stay on code. Stay in the race. Stay in the fight. Together, we're going to defeat this devil. Ashe.